Welcome to the Unofficial Steelers Podcast, the podcast so unofficial it doesn't have a home. Here's your host, from In Hindsight, Nathan Heights. From Steelers Nation Australia, Mark Davison. And from State of the Steelers, Daniel J. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, everybody in the chat, we are here, episode 23 of the Unofficial Steelers podcast. It feels like, I don't know, it feels like that we've done more episodes than this. But nonetheless, good to be back. I'm back behind the mic. I was out of town, so obviously Daniel and Mark held the fort down on Saturday's show, going into the Steelers and Falcons game. But hope you guys are all doing well here. And Daniel, Mark, how's your guys' what is today? Tuesday. How's your guys' Tuesday nights going? Or for Mark's side, Tuesday morning?
For me, I'll tell you one thing. This Tuesday is going a lot better than last Tuesday. Last Tuesday when I was on the show is when I started having my appendicitis. And so this Tuesday is a lot better. Well,
that's all that's all at the end of the day is it's all you can be thankful for it at the end of that. That's a freaking nightmare, dude. Holy crap.
Yeah.
I still can't believe you had that, because when you were on the show, like, you were kind of, I know we both know you weren't really feeling that good, but then out of nowhere you message us that you're in the freaking hospital. So
yeah,
but we're glad you're doing better, man. We're glad that you're doing your thing with your channel and on the pod. Mark, we know that you weren't in dealing with what Daniel did, but how are you feeling over there? Is the kangaroo stew treating you good or what?
I feel fucking great. You know me? Fantastic. I'm going out for beers today.
It's healthy for you, man. It's healthy for you.
I'm going to the Shelley Beach Golf Club. I'm going to down some beers. So, I'm feeling pretty good. But it's my Wednesday, so I'm a day in front. Is it Wednesday? Yeah, it's Wednesday.
Right.
Yeah. So
it's Wednesday.
10:40 a.m. And when we get done, I'm going to walk to the pub, because it's always, safe. You don't want to drive. It's easy to walk to the pub. It's about how many miles? Far out. 1.5 miles away. Then I can walk home. I'm pretty good, man. And I'm good that our Steelers are winning too. I think we have a good chance. Oh, and by the way, ask me later, but my favorite number at the moment is 9. 9.
Your favorite number is 9. Should we ask you that at the end of the show?
Yeah, that'll be my final thoughts. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah.
All right. 9. We're gonna keep 9 in mind. We have no idea what 9 means, but we'll figure that out later. That's what we're gonna be talking about. We're gonna be talking about. Obviously, we'll be talking about the win. We'll kind of be talking about really kind of how things have kind of changed a little bit over these last couple of weeks and stuff like that. But George, what's going on? And good to see everybody back here in the chat. So, guys, we're probably going to go for about 20, maybe 25 minutes and stuff like that. We know it's not going to be quite as long of a show, but Mark and Daniel got some other things that they got to take care of and get themselves into. And Daniel's got another show that he's doing on his other podcast, Drunk Turkey Show. So follow that. If you have not, if you guys are into conspiracies, murder mystery, different type of stuff like that, they're kind of breaking it all down over there. But I don't know about you guys, but I feel like these last couple of weeks is kind of a feeling that we all have not had all year long. There's a little bit of excitement. There's a little bit of noise being made a little bit. We're seeing things that are encouraging, and it's kind of something that we've been missing all year long. So the Steelers win their second game in a row, coming off playing in Atlanta, and now they go on to play the Baltimore Ravens, possibly without Lamar Jackson. The Ravens barely beat the Broncos 10-9, but with the Steelers, it really seems like things are starting to trend in the right direction that we have been wanting to see. We know that there's had to been patience involved. We've had to let things just play out and breathe a little bit. And we're starting to see some of that marinate and come to fruition a little bit. So I really think all of us can sit here and say that with where the team is, they're healthier. It seems like the defense is kind of getting their feet back on track a little bit. We know the offense is taking the steps forward that we were really hoping that they were going to do after their bye week, and it seems like they're doing that week by week. So, Mark, we'll roll with you first here. With the offense, are you? Is this? Let me phrase it this way. Did you expect the offense to? Now they didn't break quite 20 points this week on Sunday, but do you take away in terms of, did you expect the offense to kind of flow the way they've been flowing after the bye week? Did you not really expect? Are they doing more than you expected? How pleased are you in terms of seeing, it seems like just week by week progress from an offensive standpoint, from scoring points to some play calling to certain guys playing better? What is this what you were hoping for? Are they doing better than you thought?
I was looking for my Matt Canada hat and I couldn't find it. I was going to start wearing that, mate. Like, I was like, where's me Matt Canada hat? Like, me Outback style. I was downstairs somewhere. No, they're definitely playing better. And I think that's what you want to see. Like, when you are 32nd in the league or 30th in rush yards or whatever, you're one of the worst offenses in the league, right? They're getting better. One of the best stats I saw or have seen and where they can improve to, they are now seventh in the NFL at time of possession with 31 minutes. So, 30 minutes and 55 seconds. They're seventh. But the thing is, where their positive play and then, which is outthrown by their negative, is they aren't finishing with touchdowns. And we saw that with Matthew Wright. Shout out to Matthew Wright getting four field goals, MVP getting 12 points. But the offense is getting better 100%. Also, another big stat out there, Kenny Pickett hasn't thrown a pick in 128 consecutive passes, which breaks a Steelers record, a Steelers rookie record and a franchise one. So either that's really good for Kenny, or every single Steelers rookie we've had has been throwing picks. But either way, positive. The football play on the offense and I think is getting better overall. Like, Connor Hayward got his TD as well. That was fantastic too, man, to see that. I'm so happy that he's been working hard to get that too. And guys like Snell are back in the lineup too. And there was one play I thought that really, like, I was happy to see was Snell got the ball out of the backfield, checked someone, halfback's not a screen, but like a check down. He ran away for a first down. So things are moving forward, in my opinion. Now, some people will say, well, they only played some bad teams, but you can only play who's in front of you. And now with Lamar Jackson, I think he'll be out, right? He looks to be out for the next 3 weeks.
He doesn't seem to be playing.
The Steelers beat the Ravens. I'll say, oh, there's no Lamar Jackson. But the Ravens defense is legit. Overall, the offense is getting much better since the bye. So you have to be happy about that. Like, we are closer now to the playoffs than we are tanking for picks. So keep that in mind. I'm super happy with this stuff.
Well, and absolutely. And Daniel will kind of get what you want to add on to that here. And it's something that we've been that I really think all of us were just really hoping to see, especially after that bye week. And it just seems like a lot of things are just clicking by the week and stuff. And it's something, especially there's just a lot of newness. There's a lot of youth. There's a lot of newness, and it takes a lot of time to do that. And we know that, of course, we want them to win. We want them to put up points every week, but it's a lot easier said than done. It's hard to win in this league. And so seeing the direction that the offense is taking these last 3 to 4 games after the bye week, I believe the last 4 games, is very encouraging. And it's something that really, at the end of the day, all of us Steeler fans are glad to see. And that's what we've wanted to see in terms of second half, really them starting to put it together, stuff like that. So Daniel, are you pretty pleased with the offense really kind of doing what they've been doing these last 4 games? Are they doing more than you expected? Or is this kind of what you thought was going to happen in the sense of really just weekly progression, really from all around from an offensive standpoint?
It's where I was thinking that the Steelers could go. You know, I didn't think that this position where they're at right now, and looking how they're performing offensively wasn't impossible. It was on the upper side of what I was thinking going into the bye. I was like, there's a range there. They're going to be either, this well, or going to progress in this manner. They're going to stay the same, or they're going to degress. And so, in my opinion, they're on that upper range. I mean, you look at what they're able to do by moving the ball down the field. that's something that they weren't doing a couple of weeks ago. They were getting 3 and outs, even though they're not converting those in from field goals into touchdowns. It's one step at a time. Now, is this playoff worthy play? Probably not. I mean, you know, Ben Roethlisberger said it as well on his podcast with James Harrison, who was on there. And he said, 19 points, is that going to be good enough to beat good teams in the NFL? No. But good thing for us boys is there's not another good team on our schedule, so we got a chance. And so,
Yep.
We got a pretty good defense. They're also getting healthier. But, what I wanted to see is some progression. We were getting a lot of 3 and outs. This team felt like it was playing one half or a couple of quarters throughout the game. They weren't they weren't playing a full game. And in this game here, it appeared, though, even though they didn't score in every quarter or they didn't put up the 16 points they did in the first half and the second half, you saw them not completely break down. You saw them be able to move the ball. You saw them still possess the football when they had the opportunity. Now, last week I had mentioned it, that the Atlanta Falcons are a team that keep the game close. And the style in which they run was a running offense, that there was going to be a limited amount of opportunities, and that if the Steelers didn't capitalize on those drives that they had, that this was going to be a close game. And that ended up being the case. I think the Steelers had maybe one possession in the third quarter. Is insane.
Sounds about right.
And so, when it comes to that, with that one possession in the third quarter, they put up points. It is what it is. And so, like I said, I like where they're heading. I'm not gonna, crown them anything yet. I'm not even looking at the playoffs as a possibility until after this game, just because that's, going 6-7, being one game away from 500. All right, now you can kind of look around. But up until then, I just kind of, going into this week, I just want to see this team get a few more touchdowns versus those field goals. They got to convert those. I think that's the next step. You have certain steps. We went from extending drives. We've extended those drives. And then you go from extending drives to getting points. We've got field goals. Now it's time to get touchdowns. And let's start moving in that direction.
Yeah. And that's it really seems like that's, I don't want to say that the final step really, because we know that there's always week in, week out. Like, you're going to have these things one week, you're going to have these things you do good the next week, vice versa, stuff like that. But it really seems like in terms of the last 4 games or so, like what you said, Daniel, that they've been managing good drives. They've had time of possession. Their run games has really taken off. It really has. And that helps out so much. And we look at the last 4 games, Kenny hasn't been throwing over 30 passes. And that's a great thing. But it does kind of seem like in a way that's the final step in the sense of getting more of those touchdowns on the board than really what they've been doing. And it's like we saw their opening drive against Atlanta, held the ball pretty well, got themselves in the red zone, but they couldn't finish. And that's really kind of been a tale of the last, really since the bye week, but also at the same point, they've been doing those things that they haven't been doing throughout the year, having those drives, having your running backs be able to continue drives, get those 4 or 5 yards. Third downs have been better. You've been seeing that. So that's really a great encouragement on that end. And now it's at the point, okay, we got to find ways to put it, to get 6 on the board and stuff like that. And I agree. I think those things will continue to come with time. But it's at least nice that we're seeing the steps being taken the right direction. Now, for also just speaking on the offense, what do you guys think it's been when we look at them, how they've been running the football before the bye week? There wasn't really a lot of progress. There wasn't really much production. We know Najee Harris had some health problems too, but he wasn't running the ball well. He just wasn't looking like the running back that we knew him as. Benny Snell wasn't playing. McFarland wasn't playing. Jaylen Warren, he was looking pretty impressive there. But what do you guys think it's been ultimately from before the bye week to these last 4 games after, where we're seeing them get over, it seems like at least over 120 total rushing yards every game, Najee Harris is looking like the back he is. He's putting his head down. He's going. He's breaking off tackles. He's stiff-arming guys. He's not juking around, juking out ghosts, trying to make plays that aren't there. We've seen Benny Snell. Benny Snell again has had some productive carries again last week. So what do you, and Daniel, you can go ahead here. What do you think it's been more so of? Maybe not one certain thing, but what do you really think it's been that's really gotten them being able to run the ball the way they have these last 4 games, helping out the offense?
Well, for me, it's probably a multifaceted type of thing. You're looking at first and foremost health. You had Mason Cole, who had been dealing with an ankle injury. He got some time to heal. You have Najee Harris that was dealing with injuries since training camp. He had some time to heal, and you mentioned on his decision making as well. And I think also you have to look at the chemistry amongst the line and the offense in total. Before then, you had a gauntlet of some difficult games. You're going in with a rookie quarterback. The playbook was uprooted, and you could tell that there was a difference in the playbook by the personnel. Prior to Kenny Pickett coming in, Derek Watt wasn't on the field offensively. He has been significant since. And so, their playbook, everything got uprooted. It just needed some time for this offense, these players to grow into this offense and to learn and grow it together. And I think we're starting to see the outcome of that. There was probably a lot of limitations put out there based on the fact that there was a rookie quarterback in there, very, uprooted, week 5, going up against Buffalo. And, I'm fairly positive his playbook was probably down to about 20 to 30 plays, if that, and that's probably pushing it. And so it wasn't a winning formula, but it was one that the Steelers needed to see what they had and what they have in the quarterback. And now that he's grown into the offense and he's not only learned the playbook, but the players around him have learned him within the playbook, what his tendencies are and what he likes and dislikes. Now you're seeing this team kind of come together, and you're seeing the playbook being able to be opened up more. There are a lot more creative plays that are coming out. They're not so predictable unless it's working. I know there was somebody who was on my channel saying, "Hey, the Colts were hollering that they knew the plays." And I was like, "Yeah, that was after a 9-yard run. You can know the play all you want. If it's 9 yards and you're getting that every time you touch the ball, you're going to stop giving it to the guy? I don't think so." And so, those type of things, in my opinion, the offense grew. I mean, and it's going to continue to grow. We have to think back that, all these teams that the Pittsburgh Steelers are playing up against have had the luxury of having one game plan this entire year, or one focus, right? The Steelers haven't. They changed from Trubisky to Kenny Pickett week 5. And so the Steelers offensively are a few weeks behind. And so it's good for them to have caught up a little bit, and good for them to really start to execute. And I think that's the other thing as well. We're starting to see a lot more execution by the players. And that's really what's pushing this forward. But in my opinion, like I said, it's going to be injury and growth. Health and growth. That's basically what I think has allowed this to come to fruition, is what we're seeing. But, and I said, and at this point, it's still not something to be, jumping up for joy about, but it's a hell of a lot better than 3 and out 3 times in a row.
Yes, it is. So, absolutely, it is.
It's growth, man. It's going in the right direction. I like where we're going.
Mark, what about you to add on to what Daniel was saying?
Oh, I concur completely. Like, since the bye, the Steelers are 3-1, only a loss to the Bengals, right? But I looked up full of bloody stats today. That Alex Kozora dude. Hey everybody, Alex Kozora here.
Right.
He's a good fellow too. But since the bye, right, the Steelers are 3rd in rushing attempts, 140. They're 5th in rushing yards, 645. They're tied 4th in rushing TDs, 6, and they're 10th in yards per carry, 4.6. That's saying things are working right now. Like, I'm pretty confident for this game, and the Steelers actually favorite in this game too. Since the Lamar Jackson news, they're favorite at home. Like, if they can run the ball effectively and pass the rock around too, not always on Najee, but Snell's having a season, or having a few back-to-back games. He's backing it up, right? And can he back it up again? Let's hope so. And Warren's playing fantastic too. Warren is catching everything that comes to him. So if they can feed these guys and get them involved in the offense, it's going to help out the rookie Kenny Pickett. And those field goals will soon turn into TDs. And the 19 points will turn into 26 or 27, which puts more stress on the opposing team with our defense. So I think everything that Daniel said is correct. Like, things are going in slowly in motion. And I think coming home after a two away stint is pretty big for this team too. And they've beaten the Ravens 4 times in a row. Our team's getting healthy, but it just seems to be working right now. And that is running the football. So it's going to be a harder defense, of course. And Ravens games are always physical too. So I'm not saying that Najee Harris is going to get 100 yards, but he's getting close. And he's actually running with some might too. He's changed his step up a bit. He's running up, he's palming people. He's using his body, not dancing as much. He's driving his legs through carries and getting 4 yards after the carry. Like he's doing really well. And I even saw Benny Snell with some patience too, like a bit of like Le'Veon Bell patience. He stopped and started, then got 4 yards after that. I like the rotation at the running back, and I like how that's helping the young quarterback in Kenny Pickett too. I think it's some good progress. If we can get a victory out of here, we have a slight chance to make the playoffs, right? With some teams failing. So, and the team, and overall, if you're not even thinking about that, if you just looking at game by game, they're just getting better. But they do have to turn those field goals into TDs. But it can happen.
Yeah, and that's really the ultimate final thing. It seems like being able to execute more consistently in the red zone and stuff like that, not leaving points on the board. But it really seems like that's just such a big takeaway when we look at from earlier this year to now, them being able to run the football the way they are. And you got to give credit to the O-line. You got to give credit for it really just seems like they're meshing well, that chemistry is really growing. And they're just helping out their running backs. And it just seems like all running backs right now are playing to what they're strongest in, and they're being used to not like they're being used in the sense of what's making them excel and stuff like that. Like Harris, we're not seeing Harris being the workload that he was last year, which is fine. We all knew that he shouldn't have been, but Harris is running the way he's running. Benny Snell's getting in there a little bit. Jaylen Warren's being used in some third down situations, passing situations too. And that's a great thing to do. Now, I also think that really a big thing here and is that we can't leave out Kenny's play either. I feel like, to me, it seems like the second half of the Atlanta game, I feel like they took their foot off the gas a little bit. They played a little conservative at times in the second half. And I don't really want to see that. I know you have a rookie quarterback, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, like, you still have a whole half to play. Mm-hmm. Atlanta's only down, like, they were only down, 10 points at the half and stuff. I would have liked to maybe seen some more aggressiveness there. But I feel like that, and I feel like most agree that we're seeing we're seeing continual week at a time. I know we talked about this last week, but it feels like we're just seeing more from Kenny, man. We're seeing more from him, more of what he can do. It seems like they're opening up the playbook a little bit more for him. And he's making big drives on third downs, man. He's converting those clutch third down plays that he needs to keep doing. We're seeing him being able to get the ball down the field a little bit. And Daniel, kind of like what you said in your post show, Kenny doesn't need to have an arm like a Josh Allen or anything like that. As long as he's able to get the ball down the field, he's able to hit guys where they need to be. Like the Pat Freiermuth one, you guys remember where Pat Freiermuth was kind of went up the seam. Kenny just missed him, might have threw the ball just a little late, a little late there. Do you know what I'm talking about? Would have been a touchdown, stuff like that. That stuff's going to come, but I just like what I'm seeing continually, and it seems like that. I know Tomlin preaches that, stuff like that, but do you guys think that this Atlanta game was just another step, right? Like, because really before this, we were seeing, okay, this game. All right, we're seeing more. We're seeing a little bit more here, seeing a little bit more there, right? But with the Atlanta game, like I felt like we're seeing the ball pushed down a little bit more. We're seeing him be able to make some effective throws down the field a little bit more, some key third downs, and he's not turned the ball over either. He's being smart with the ball as well. So you guys think that this is just really the up trajectory that we have kind of really all been wanting to see, and you guys continue to see that going on the rest of the year? So Mark, go ahead. Then we'll go to Daniel.
He's pretty confident, man. I find in the next, the last few games, stuff like that. Like, I think even for a rookie going back to back, like away games too, to win those is pretty good as well.
Yeah.
I think he's taking command of the offense. I think he's getting better each week. I think offensive line's helping him out. I don't believe offensive line even got sacked. I don't think he got one sack against Kenny in that game. I'm pretty sure anyway. But also, like, I think that he's going through his checkdowns too. If he can't find anything around, he goes to the closest person, the short pass. I just saw some more stats too. The only person who's really not catching the checkdown is Najee Harris. He's missed 7. But the other fellas, Jalen Warren, where did I put it? Jalen Warren or Benny Snell's 2 for 2, right? Connor Hayward's 8 for 9 in those short passes. And Jalen Warren is 18 for 20. They're catching the football for him, if things go amiss. But I think he's going through, like, I haven't seen the game. I've been a little bit busy. I haven't seen the game again. But when I was watching the game live, I think he's starting to get it, man. I think it's you know what? We kind of said this, like, yeah. Dude, tell me about it, man. Tell me about it. Look, I can't figure that out, eh? What? How do you pay attention to the podcast?
I know he's looking at everything else.
Oh wait, Zach's a Raven, right? Is Zach a Raven?
Yeah, he's a Ravens fan.
Yeah. You know what? You won't probably know, but
I told him I enjoy seeing Lamar leave. He's gone.
I think so too. So I called it last year. I said that when Lamar went down, they wouldn't win another game, and they lost 6 in a row. And now, am I saying it this year? Yes. No, I'm not. I don't know. I think they have a better chance this year, but dude, they have some bad troubles without Lamar. So they don't know. I don't know where I was. He bloody put me off my rocker. I've really forgotten where I was. Oh, the receptions. Yeah. I think that the Kenny's getting helped out by his running backs, and I think they're playing really well in those check down scenarios. Now, should he be going downfield to George? Maybe, but there was that pass to DJ where if he caught that football, it might have been a TD possibly or a big gain. That pass to Muth was fantastic, right? Checked out from his right, went to his left. Muth caught it, ran up the sidelines, and almost a TD too. So I think overall, the team's starting to believe too. And I think the defense must like him too because they're getting time possession.
Yeah.
And they're getting off the field. So I'm really keen for this game because I think they can win this game by a few points because I don't know how Tyler Huntley's going to score TDs against TJ Watt and Highsmith. I don't know.
Daniel, what about you? Is you like seeing that this has kind of been another week in the sense of seeing a little bit more of what Kenny's able to do a little bit? Kind of seems like they're letting him do a little bit more. Things are opening up a little bit more, a little bit. But what do you think about that to add on to what Mark was saying?
Yeah, I thought Kenny played pretty good. The most impressive throw that came to mind and stuck with me the entire game was, I believe it was the first drive, and it was a 3rd down where he looked to his right, went through his progressions, and hit Muth on his left. It wasn't even a very deep pass. Right. He went through all his progressions, and I was like, all right, that's an NFL read and throw. Now, he had a couple of skippers where he didn't reach Pat Freiermuth on one, and, those things are going to happen. I don't think he did anything too bad. I thought he did fairly well. I thought he used his legs right. I thought he was smart when he was, in that one play when they punted the ball off. Right before that, they did a play action pass and sprint when he was going to run, and
right.
He slid down. I thought he did fantastic. With Kenny Pickett, not to be nitpicky, the only thing that I saw was that it seemed like his release is a little slow. And, I like to see that get a little bit quicker, but that can be worked on the offseason. I'm not going to hold anything against him that's not there. I mean, it's not fair to ding somebody for something that isn't there. And we'll find out this week about December games outside. And so, but you can't ding him for something that he couldn't go up against. I mean, that's not fair. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't go up against the elements, so you can't say he can't throw against it. That would not be fair for him. But based on what I saw in this game, and kind of like what I said in my post-game show, is when you look at what you want from a rookie quarterback, you want him to keep you in the games. You want him not to kill you, and you want him to be able to make a few plays that are going to win you some games. And when you look at that first 3rd down pass, and there was some other ones as well, you talk about the Pat Freiermuth one, and I mean, I think that the pass to Connor Hayward was on point for the touchdown. Those things are glimpses of what you're going to see on a more consistent basis as experience increases.
For sure.
And so that's what you want to see, and that's what you want to see, the progression. And I think he's doing a fantastic job. I said it before, going into the bye, it was going to, my opinion on the outlook of Kenny Pickett was going to depend on the remaining portion of the year. Yeah. I said if he went in there and he was less than 5-4 the remaining of the season, given the the talent of the opposition that they're playing the remaining of the year, I thought that would be a concern. Right now he's 3-1, and so it's he's passing the test for me when it comes to that. Now, is there going to be some, are there some more question marks that are yet to be answered? Yeah. But
of course,
based on what you want him to do, and you look at Ben Roethlisberger, his rookie season and even his second season, both of those years, he didn't average more than 200 yards a game. Both of those years was under, and they relied on a running game, and this running game is doing well, and we have a good defense. And so I think we're on a similar path or formula perhaps that we were back then. And you can't complain if that ends up being the case.
No, you can't at all. And it's really at the point of really what you want to see from your rookie quarterback. Everything's just kind of really, it just seems like I think some things are slowing it down a little bit for him week at a time. Things are opening up more, but he's, to me, I feel like he's seeing more of his reads, not just the one guy. I feel like he's seeing a little bit more of that second, that third guy there. And that's a very great thing. And I don't really think how anybody can be displeased with really what they've seen really from Kenny since after the bye week. Like it's week at a time. And sure, this guy's not breaking the stat sheet or anything, but he doesn't need to. He doesn't need to as a rookie quarterback or anything like that right now. And there we go. But I'll
say this.
Let me write that down.
As far as the eye test goes, I think Kenny Pickett, it looks like the game is slowing down for him a little bit.
Yeah.
The way he moves in the pocket, the way he reads the defenses and goes back and forth. I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can see that. And it seems like each week, like he's when he's making his reads, when he's doing his progression, stuff like that, like you're seeing, there you go, Z. You're just seeing better decision making. You're seeing him being able to read things a little bit better. Not really make quite the mistakes that you saw early on, in the sense of not forced throws in the sense, but it seems like that he's letting things open up a little bit more. And in terms of really just, I don't know, I just feel like where he's been placing the ball, man, and what he's been able to do with that, like on just really key downs, especially, is just really I think a great thing for a rookie quarterback. So really what we're seeing these last 4 weeks, it's really all of us Steelers fans or anybody who's got a rookie quarterback. Like those are the type of things that you want to see. And we're seeing a handful of those things from Kenny Pickett. And now we're going to see the rest of the way. He's got a couple divisional games, a few more games at Heinz Field. He's got one with Carolina. And those are some pretty big games, those divisional games. So it's going to be interesting to see like how he's going to be able to when it comes to those, because that's not just a game on the schedule. It doesn't matter if it's the Bengals, the Browns, the Ravens, or anything like that. It's a different ball game. Yeah, and there. Yeah.
Hey, bring up Zach's point, man. Bring up Zach's point. Tyler Huntley's not a bad quarterback though either. Like he's been in the league 3 years. He's
not a bad quarterback.
He only dropped, I think, 3 passes last week. It's not a bad quarterback. So is he greater than Kenny? It doesn't really matter. I don't really care if you want to compare those two.
I think he might be better than Lamar.
I think he's better than Lamar. Actually, I would rather see Lamar out there.
I do too, especially the way Lamar's been playing this year.
Yeah, I would rather see Lamar out there. Lamar is a constant overthrower and gets himself in trouble. I think Tyler Huntley's more pinpoint on his passes. So I'm more worried with Tyler Huntley being there than I am Lamar. And we've beaten Lamar 3 times.
I think Lamar cost himself quite a bit of money this year by not signing.
Yeah, he really did. He really did.
Do you guys think that he's going to be? Is he going to be a Raven next year?
Oh,
I don't. And here's why I say that, because when you look at what the Ravens did this year, if they're going to pay him X amount of money, they're not really going to be able to provide him anybody really offensively. So if they weren't able to do it when they didn't pay him, they're not really going to be able to go bring anybody in like a game-changing type guy for him that he's been wanting when they have to pay him. And I think the Ravens might even be smarter if they pay Roquan Smith, if they really strengthen their team around the quarterback. And if you roll with Tyler Huntley, they have similar play styles as well. You don't really have to change your offensive system or scheme or anything like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if
we've seen he's done. You think he's done for the rest of the year, and maybe as a Raven, that was his last game?
I don't know about rest of the year. I think it might just depend where they're at, honestly. But I just wouldn't be surprised if like they franchise him and then they trade him somewhere. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised to see that. Now, Tyler Huntley, he deserves an opportunity. And it seems like every time this guy's coming for Lamar, he's been pretty productive. And he deserves an opportunity to see what he can do and stuff like that. But Ravens fans, enjoy the gutter. Enjoy the gutter next year. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what anybody says.
I think the Ravens
I think they'd be wiser to strengthen their team, move Lamar, see what you got in Tyler Huntley, and bring in some offensive weapons for him that can bolster the offense, sign some guys on defense you need, rather than give it to Lamar because, like Lamar at the end of the day, he hasn't. Yeah, you'll be loving your life. I know you will be. But Lamar at the end of the day, like, sure, he hasn't had a lot of help this year, but he's not really, to me, since his MVP season, he hasn't been a groundbreaking quarterback. That's just my opinion. He hasn't been the guy that has replicated his MVP season, that has really lived up to that 2019 season. Not saying that he's been bad or anything like that. Like, he wins games, he plays well when he's ahead and stuff like that. He's a unique talent. But it might be wise for the Ravens to really, and Z agrees, him and I actually talked about this last night, it might be wise for them to strengthen and really get guys signed longer term when you're not having to pay a quarterback.
Well, when you're a one-trick pony, scheme will get to you, after a while. Once you have tape and those things happen and and defenses realize what your weaknesses are, they're going to scheme for your strength. And if you can't overcome your weakness, then that's what you're going to see.
No, you can't. You can't. But I don't know. I always just feel like no matter who's playing for the Steelers and Ravens, it's always a close game. It's just different. Like the Ravens could be 11-2 and the Steelers could be like 4-10 or something like that. And like, it's still going to be a close game. The Steelers could still win that game. Like, it's just how it is.
This game is very, very important for the division as well. Like the Ravens are really nervous right now because they were here last year, the same spot where they got injured and they lost every single game. It's the exact same scenario, but they have a better team. Yeah. The Ravens have a better team, but still, same scenario.
It is, and I wish I could. I don't want to pay the money right now or anything like that, but it is what it is. But yeah, I think really just at the end of the day, it's an encouraging thing with the Steelers winning, getting 2 games in a row. You're seeing guys, you're seeing production on both sides of the ball again. And you're really just seeing the things offensively that we've been wanting to see all year finally come to fruition. And I know Daniel has been saying it all year in the sense guys have to learn the X's and O's. Guys have to learn this and that before you can take this step and stuff like that. And it seems like that we're doing that. And I feel like that you can't really be happier. You can't really be less encouraged from what you're seeing. The run game's working. Kenny's taken progress week after week. And for someone who's a rookie quarterback, like what you're saying, Daniel, like you want your quarterback to be able to you want your rookie quarterback to keep you in games. You want him to take the right steps week at a time. And we're seeing that. We're seeing things slow down for him more. We're seeing him make more reads, make better decisions. And we're seeing him stretch the ball a little bit more week at a time, it seems like. And that's what you want to see too. We're seeing certain connections. We're seeing important plays on third down he's making. That's a great thing. So I'm really excited to continue to see him, how he finishes the year, and really what this type of stuff is going to do for his future and stuff like that. But do you guys feel, and we can end it on this because I know Daniel's got some things he's got to do. I know we said we were probably going to go about a half hour or so and everything like that. But do you guys feel after this Falcons game, you guys think the Steelers can kind of keep this ball rolling a little bit and make some noise, make some things a little fun, a little interesting and stuff like that? And the hunt, a wild card spot, maybe not necessarily division because the Bengals are really playing well too. But hey, if they beat the Ravens and then they got Carolina, they got another couple division games and the Raiders Christmas Eve. I mean, I don't know. I think that it's something. I'm not saying that, like Daniel, like I'm not sitting here looking at playoffs either or anything, but if they keep the ball rolling, making some wins, it could be something where Tomlin finds himself with another 500 season. It could be something where the Steelers maybe find themselves sneaking in or something like that. I don't know. But what do you guys feel? What do you guys feel? Daniel, go ahead.
So I think that, I'm a fan, so I've looked ahead. I'm not on the team. I'm not a member of the staff. Yep. I'm not a player. Yep. I don't have to fall in line with this week one narrative, only 1 week stuff. I'm a fan, so I can look ahead. I've played with the ESPN playoff predictor, and I'll be honest with you. If I'm going through there truthfully on the other teams that are that are out there, it's going to be a tough push because, the Steelers lost to every team in the AFC East. I think they've only beaten 2 teams in the AFC. And so, a lot of their losses in the AFC are that's not going to be good for some tiebreakers. And so, but with that being said, the Steelers don't have a daunting schedule ahead of them. I think that they have a possibility of winning every game ahead of them. There's not a team that's on there that I don't think that are going to absolutely annihilate the Steelers or beat them or anything. I think the Steelers will be competitive in every single game going out.
Yeah.
And if they can get to, let's just say 9-10 wins, they will run the table. And if they run the table, I think they're in for sure. I don't see a 10-win team not in the playoff with a 7-team bracket. You know what I'm saying? Right. But it's going to be tough if they lose one more game. That's going to pretty much push them out. They really can't. Fortunately for the Pittsburgh Steelers, a lot of AFC teams have been just pretty trashy. You have a lot of teams that have lost a lot of games. Nobody's really pulling away from the top either.
No.
And so the Cincinnati Bengals, they still have the Bills. Who else do they have on their schedule? They have the Bills. They have the Ravens, the Browns. The Browns already beat them.
I think they have Tampa Bay, don't they?
Yeah. I'm not sure if Tampa Bay is that strong of a team. They really needed to lose to the Chiefs. that really needed to happen. But yeah, man, I think the Steelers can make some noise at the end of the day. I think that when you look at the Jets, they're kind of coming back to earth with their quarterback situation and whatnot. So I don't think they're going to be making the playoffs either. Right. The one team that I'm, I guess, a little bit worried that's still ahead is maybe the Chargers. They can turn it around. They got the talent. They got the skill to do so. But it's any given Sunday. This has been a weird year, man. It's been a weird year with some teams that, everybody expected the AFC West to be this juggernaut, and they're not. And, who expected the East to be the juggernaut early on in the season? And so who knows, man? But if the Steelers can continue to do what they're doing and just focus in on themselves, I think they can find themselves there. You have the Ravens, and they have an easier schedule as well. But without Lamar Jackson, they didn't do very well last year without him. And so, yeah, there's still a possibility. I won't be jumping up and down for it until next week. If the Steelers win next week, jump to 6-7. I'll be bringing out the possibilities and the scenarios fairly quickly. But I want to see this game first. About it. For sure.
And that's fair. And that's the right thing to do. You want to manage expectations. You want to just kind of enjoy, kind of see what happens, stuff like that. But I think that's what and that's what I said, before their bye week, when they were sitting at 3-6 or whatever it was, I was like, look, I just want a strong second half. I want to see guys play with urgency. I want to see some of these young guys take the steps that need to be taken. And we're seeing a lot of that. And I'm pleased with that. Even if they miss the playoffs, I'm pleased with that. And I think that if you end the season on that note where they had a winning second half, guys were playing better, young guys were growing, that's a good thing to go into next year on and build on, and then build your roster even better in the offseason. Draft well and stuff like that. And that brings excitement. That brings things that you can take a leap from here to right up here. So that's what I'm excited to see too, and I'm just excited to see how the rest of the year plays out. Mark, what about you? You think that that they can make some noise, make things a little fun?
Oh yeah, I disagree with Daniel completely. Myself and Crisscross jump. Everybody jump. Like I'm ready, man. You know why? Yeah. Hear it in first. Hear it in first, guys. The Pittsburgh Steelers. You'll wake up in American morning. The Pittsburgh Steelers will be leading the North on Christmas Day.
On Christmas Day.
Why do you ask? Because 9 games, mate. Here we go. Here's 9 games.
Here's the 9.
If we need the Browns to beat the Bengals, right? Watson's back, and the Browns have a better record over the Bengals 5 games in a row. That's week 14. Steelers beat the Ravens, right? They're going to kick their bloody ass. Browns beat the Ravens week 15. Steelers beat the Panthers. Bucks beat the Bengals, right? Then Falcons beat the Ravens. Steelers beat the Raiders. And the Patriots beat the Bengals. There you go. Christmas morning. Wake up to the AFC North.
Just that quick. Wow.
That easy, mate. Like, okay.
You got to make a video on it.
Here's a point, though, right? Here's a point where all the negative fans are like, cheering for the number 1 overall pick. It's just mathematically the same going that direction than it is going the other direction. And Steelers Freak brings it up. Losing 50-20 in the first round means nothing. Then don't watch. Come back in April. If you don't want to see your team win, don't watch. I'm just so done with the negative fans. If you want your team to tank, go, just check out because they win either way. They're not happy when they lose, and they're not happy when they win. There is 9 games to go. Well, there's 9 games. If 9 games go our direction, the Steelers can be holding the AFC North title by Christmas Day. Now, will it happen? I don't know, but I'd rather be positive and see it. The Browns can definitely beat the Bengals. So they've had their number 5 times in a row. We can beat the Ravens this week, and that's one step closer. It's actually harder, I think, to get the wild card, as Daniel said, because the Pats and the Jets have something over us, 3 games, whereas the division only has 2. Come on, man. Like, I'm actually sick of this shit, dude. Like, people are so fucking negative about it. Cheer your team on. And when you say they're going to lose 50-20, why do you fucking watch? Why watch the game? What's the point?
Mark, and on to your point, Mark, the people that want them to tank, it's like, and when they lose and play bad, they're going to bitch and complain about it.
They win either way. That's the problem. See, I don't win with my.
There's no win. There's no win.
If I get the 9 games wrong, then they call me overhyped, or I'm in fairyland because I think they're going to win too much. But they win either way. They win when they lose, and they win when they win, right? Because they're quiet. They're all quiet when they start winning games. Mate, you're 2 or 3 games away from the division. It can happen. Now, will it happen? We don't know yet.
Yeah,
and they're playing good football.
Yeah, no, they are, and it's what you want to see regardless. It's what you want to see regardless, especially for a team that's got a lot of youth there. But that's Mark's number 9. That's the number 9 right there. So Mark, that's his prediction.
If 9 games in a row happen like that, exactly right. The Ravens lose out 3, the Bengals lose out 3, the Browns win 2 and lose 1, and the Steelers win 3. I think it's something like that, right? Then Christmas morning, you'll see the Steelers after the big game against the Raiders. And by the way, that's gonna be if that's gonna be a fantastic game too. If there's playoff implications, Steelers versus Raiders, that game will be the game of the bloody century. I reckon it's gonna be fantastic, right? With all the stuff around it, right? But you'll wake up Christmas morning with the Steelers leading the AFC North. Come on, man. I'm just over the people want Kenny to fail. They want draft picks. It doesn't work that way. You got so close to the playoffs, and then everyone's saying when you get to the playoffs, well, they're going to lose by 60. Then why the fuck do you watch? I'm sorry for swearing on your channel, but why the fuck do you watch, man? Honestly.
No, Mark, you're not wrong. I understand the frustration.
Fucking support someone else, mate. Go and support the Jets or the Browns or someone else. It's not what are you doing? How much of a sad existing life do you got to have? You turn the TV on. You want to see Najee do bad. You want to see TJ Watt do bad. No, you want to see TJ Watt carry Huntley to the end zone.
Yeah.
Fucking safety.
Yeah. No, I don't quite understand a lot of mindsets on stuff like that. But Mark, I hear you out. I don't disagree. And it's really that simple. Like if you're a fan, you want them to do well and stuff like that. And I don't understand the mindset really of just wanting to be a loser at the end of the day. So that's
it. Look, mate, it's a loser mentality, mate. If you're losing games, you're losing mentality. In my life, whatever I do, if I'm going for anything, we all go through like mental health, right? Men's mental health, right? It's a big thing. It's not talked about, right? What do you do when you get out of bed? You want to have the best day you can. If you have a bad day, you try and do another one better. You don't aim to sit in your sadness and think, oh, life sucks and it's awful, right? You try and get better every day. So when I watch my team, I turn it on and I go, I want to see Najee go out there and absolutely dominate. Like in the fake fans like that, you'll cheer behind and go, oh, that was a good play with Najee smacking the guy's head in the ground. Dude, it was fantastic. Like the guy almost using like a basketball, man. Like I'm just overall sick of it because it happens every year. We lose a bit. And now that Lamar's out of it and the Bengals can lose, because the Bengals have the Bills too, I think, as well, coming up. So who knows, man? But the Bengals are on the front row right now. But a few things happen. Kenny gets on fire. Why not?
Yeah. And you never know. Any given Sunday, you never know how things are going to pan out. So many times teams start off 4-2, 5-2, and blow the gasket and find themselves winning 7-8 games. Sometimes you see the other way. The Bengals started 1-3 and they're playing their best football of the season, right? So you just never know, but it's like as a fan, man, you want to see success, and so when they're having that, then oh no, well, you know, I'm gonna be mad about it or stuff like that.
One more point. I know I want a big rant, but if Mike Tomlin gets his team to over 500 with all the rookie guys, then that's almost like that needs a bit of respect too, right? Now, I did say he might be on the hot seat this year. I'm not a fire Tomlin guy, but if he gets a team to near the playoffs or over a winning record with this team from the start and how things have panned out, he's done a pretty good job.
Yeah.
So, come on, man.
No, you do, and that's what's gonna make it. Gene, what's up, man? Thanks for tuning in. Jared, what's up? Appreciate you tuning in. What was I gonna say?
Hey, man, I did that last week and ended up appendicitis.
Yep. And thank God it's over with. But I don't know, Daniel. It seems like that kind of started the winning streak here.
It may have. It added to the stack.
I said to you, you'll be right. Just take a night off and you'll be fine.
Yeah. And everyone, I'm feeling great. I saw a couple of y'all ask. I'm feeling so much better. Just a little.
You look better. Your skin looks better. I think you're a bit more whiter last time. Something you look pretty ill.
Yeah, well, I was on the verge of death apparently. Yeah.
That sounds like a band, doesn't it? The Verge of Death.
It could be. We should start it up. It could be.
Yeah, that's the whole reason right there. But yeah, we wanted to come on here, really just kind of want to talk about the key successes that we're really kind of seeing, the important things we're seeing so far in the second half. The important things that are kind of going on as to why the Steelers have been 3-1 since their bye week, and really the I don't quite want to say turnaround in a way, but who knows, it could be, but still, I mean, they're 3-1, so it kind of is a turnaround a little bit. But really just kind of talk about just really what we're seeing, what we're glad to see, what we want to keep seeing, and really just kind of our own thoughts about really the key things that are getting them to the point where they're at. So I think, guys, we're going to see a pretty fun, interesting second rest of the way, and who knows what happens. But I think at the end of the day, I honestly think all of us will honestly kind of be pleased with how they finished the season. I think so. But you guys want to end it there? Or is there anything else you guys want to go on? Because I know that
I've said my piece.
You've said your piece. I know, Daniel, you got stuff you got to do.
Yeah, and now I got some stuff I got to take care of, and then I'll be back on, guys. I'm actually be back on State of the Steelers. I have a friend of mine, Trevor Z. He is the Ohio Bucky or something like that, offensive coordinator. I'll get it down before we start my show. So I have an offensive coordinator coming on talking offensive game plan. Don't miss it. It's on my channel, State of the Steelers.
Well, guys, if you want to tune into that, make sure you guys are following Daniel at State of the Steelers, because he's going to be on there talking some more. He's going to be on this Drunk Turkey Show channel. So again, if you guys are into murder mystery stuff, if you guys are into conspiracies, any type of topics like that, they cover it over there. It's an entertaining show. They've been growing really well. So you guys want to go out there, give that some support. You know, Mark, you find him at Steelers Nation Australia, but we know, guys, that sometimes we have some longer shows. We even went a little bit longer than we thought we were going to. But that's what happens when we ramble on about what we're passionate about the team we love and stuff like that. But yeah, good conversation. Just really kind of about the really kind of the 3-1 second half. So there's a lot of encouraging things, a lot of more things to kind of look forward to the rest of the year. And And I think a lot of us as fans, like I said, I think regardless how the season ends, I think that we're going to be more encouraged, more pleased than not. And it will make for fun conversation on here and on our channel. So all you guys in the chat, thank you all for tuning in to the show, putting your comments out there, your thoughts out there and stuff like that. We will be back on Saturday on whose channel is it going to be? Mark's channel, right? It's going to be on Mark's channel. It's going to be on Mark's channel, Steelers Nation Australia on Saturday. He's just finding out about that. So that's going to be Saturday on his channel. We'll be talking about the Steelers and Ravens and everything kind of going in there. So again, shout out to you guys in the chat, Mark and Daniel, always good conversation, good podcast and everything like that. So you guys will want to tune in on that. But anyway, guys, that's us. That's it for us here at the Unofficial Steelers podcast. We will see you all Saturday, and go Steelers, everybody. So have a good night, and we will see you then.